Today, what I'm going to do is a review and a comparison between two kind of inexpensive ukuleles. And these are both $100. One of them is a Kala, which is this one, and the other one is Cordoba. This brand is the #1 selling Hawaiian ukulele. And this one is from a manufacturer of that specializes in nylon string instruments, which a ukulele is. So I want to compare the features of these in terms of sound features and in terms of quality. I'm going to play you a sample side by side of each of them. Right now, let's just take a look at the features of these. Looking at this one, the Cordoba, you have all around edge binding along the frets and the purfling, I believe they call it, around the main body, front and the back. Inlaid dots, and we have a rosette which is inlaid. This instrument actually has wider, or at least the string spacing is wider than the Kala. So if you prefer a little bit more space, then this instrument has a little bit more distance between the strings. If I look at that here, I didn't measure the distance, but it's noticeable. In terms of the woods, they're all mahogany. These are laminates. They're not solid woods. And this one says that it's got a composite saddle and nut. The difference here between these two instruments also is that you should notice is that this is kind of a thin body, and this is more of a full body. So that does make a difference when you hear the sound, the kind of sound projection that you get. Let's take a look now at this instrument, which is the Kala. This has no edge binding, and it's got nothing along the frets. It does have some paint along the edge here, which I think is a little, it feels and looks a little cheaper. One thing I did notice though is that the frets, they're not sharp, whereas the Cordoba, the edges are a little bit sharp. They need a little bit of a touching up with a file, really. They're not that bad. I've seen a lot worse, but just very slightly, I can feel it. This instrument, it says these are new bone. It says new bone NXB. All right, so there, and also it's actually embossed in the saddle and in the nut. Now, around the rosette in this particular instrument, this doesn't have any inlays, but it looks like a laser etched pattern around the sound hole, which doesn't look bad at all. And I would like to just mention that the tuners, they look identical on both instruments. If somebody told me they were the same manufacturer, I would absolutely believe it. This new bone seems very similar material to the Cordoba. So even though it's not specified new bone, it does feel to be very similar material. Now, one thing, looking at quality now, if I do the light test, which is if I hold this up to the light, you won't be able to see it, but actually you can see daylight between the saddle and the bridge if you look straight through it into the light. With the Cordoba, you don't see that. Now, what that would indicate is that it's only going to be touching in 2 points rather than making a better contact along the whole channel of the bridge. But in terms of when you play these, you actually hear there's actually more volume coming out of the Kala. So it's just a minor point. I mean, these are not expensive instruments, so you're going to expect that there are some things that are not going to be up to a professional standard. But one thing to note here also is that the Kala has a strap button, whereas the Cordoba does not. So if you wanted to put a strap on this, you would have to get yourself a strap button. So I think that's about it in terms of quality. This instrument, the Cordoba, definitely feels, because of the edging And, just generally, it seems to be a better quality instrument. So let's listen now to some sound samples with each of these two instruments. This is the Cordoba. All right, this is the Kala. Okay, so that's it for this time. I hope you found that interesting. I have to say that if I'm looking for my own instrument, I'm looking for instruments for teaching kids, and I would use either one of these. But if I'm looking for an instrument for myself, I'm going to be looking for something a little bit better than these. But these are certainly decent enough first instrument. I'm saying that this is my first time playing ukulele, but I'm saying that basically as an instrumentalist. I feel that these instruments, they are what they are, and they're decent enough as a first instrument. So that's it for this week. I hope you found this useful, and as I always say, stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you soon.